All right, we're here this afternoon. We have Brently Bales and Trey Thoma, the current commissioner and commissioner-elect of the PWL. And we just have a little chat session, ask some questions, get some answers, and see what the latest and greatest in the future of the PWL is from their point of view. Gentlemen, thank you for coming today.
It's great to be here.
All right. Well, let's get started. And we'll start with the commissioner-elect. First question, or first opportunities for you. So, as a new commissioner, how do you see yourself as the season starts?
Well, I'm trying to build a new sort of league personality around the player individually. I want each player to be represented on an equal scale. So I'm not really focusing on myself as a player, but as a builder of the individual.
Yeah, very good. Okay. And Bryn, as former commissioner, how do you see yourself fitting in to help with the league?
So even though I'm not necessarily in charge anymore, I'm still going to be always looking for new players, working with different players to get their craft right fundamentally, and really just making sure everybody's having a good time.
Very good. What are the strengths and weaknesses of the league that you see?
The biggest weakness that I saw was a lack of flexibility in players. There was just that one set amount, and some of them clearly didn't work out, us losing one team. But I think the biggest positive is that there's a lot of room to grow and a lot of opportunity to change. So.
Okay, and growing leads into my question for Brently. When do you think we can expect to see another 2 or 3 teams added? I know that's something that you guys are working on.
So right now, before we get new teams, we got to get new players. I want more than one person on each team before we get start adding teams. Because right now, we got one. I'm trying to get 2 on the Tigers right now. So, I think we're taking the baby steps to get where we need to be. But if you're asking if we will have teams added, the answer is yes. When? We're building up.
Okay. Well, and you touched on another question that I've got for you here, or both of you can chime in on this. What is the thought behind a 2-player team for a 3-inning game? And then that goes into another question: has there any consideration been given to extending it to a 4-inning or a 5-inning game if we're going to have 2 players that can rotate in and out? What are y'all's thoughts on those 2 topics?
So, just for people that don't know, even if it's 2 people on a team, it's still going to be a 1v1 league. They can rotate in and out if they want. I don't see us expanding it to 4 or 5 innings. However, if it starts getting to where games are going by faster because we have 2 players, we might have a 2-game series between the 2 teams, or a 3-game series, and then that day's over. So I think more innings, no, but more playing time, yes, eventually.
Okay, and still there's the thought for what is the need behind 2 players for a 3-inning ball game? Trey, you want to jump in?
Last season, when I was playing you, we both felt the effects of the heat.
Yes, we did.
I was falling over from just complete exhaustion, and I think it's just a relief effort to keep the team going strong throughout the entire game, as opposed to both players wearing down and the quality of the game decreasing.
Yeah, we want to keep teams at good strength throughout the entire game instead of one that may have better stamina absolutely dominating at the end, not because they're better, but because they have better stamina. So I think the 2 people on each team is good for first keeping the game moving along and keeping it fair.
Okay, fair enough. And talking about, and this, I didn't write this one down, but talking about the games and kind of going to the thought of getting the games in, is there a plan this year to end the season before the quote-unquote start of school, so the season doesn't drag on into the school year and into November like it has in the past? I know sometimes scheduling doesn't work out, but is that going to be the goal, or is it still going to be a pretty spread out schedule?
Yeah, no, I'll start by saying this. 2020, the season did not end until December. Last year we did great. We got it over in October, late October. So I hope now that, Trey's going to be commissioner, we have a better plan. We have more players. We're going to be able to, we're going to play this date, and we need people there, and we're going to have, I think, a better layout altogether. So I think it should be over before school starts back in August.
I think the addition of new players will allow more games between the teams to be held, not more games, but on a more frequent basis.
Yeah.
So you're not having one person playing a game consecutively. You get to swap it. So you can play more games in a shorter amount of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you mentioned players playing multiple games in a weekend, and the way it's currently structured, you got two divisions in the PWL, Georgia League and Alabama League. Do you foresee continuing to have the two divisions?
Yes.
With or without more teams? If you grow it and there's more teams, I would think you would still have two divisions. If it does not grow, would you just go back to one big one? What are your thoughts?
As we keep growing, I think we need the two divisions more and more. Really. And, once we start getting more teams, we'll add one to Alabama League, get another one, add one to Georgia League. And I think the two divisions are here to stay. I think they're a big part of this league, and really helps the flow of the playoffs too.
I agree. I think the two divisions will be a part that needs to stay to keep the league functioning as it should.
Okay. Well, and we talked about adding teams and adding players. How can the PWL grow more teams? What's your thoughts?
Well, are you talking about teams specifically, or just getting players in general?
Players and teams.
Okay. Well, the biggest issue right now is getting parents to understand.
Yes, that's what hopefully this interview or answering your question will help alleviate that.
Yeah. So, we had a kid named Tylen Bryant, great baseball player. Really looking forward to having him in the league. We were one step away from getting him, but the lack of parents' understanding is what cost him from joining us, and I completely understand it. Like, that's no fault of Tylen's, no fault of parents, no fault of ours. I think it's just
People don't know what they don't know.
People don't know what they're getting into, which is understandable. So I think our biggest issue is how do we fix that?
So basically, you're saying it's education from your side, educating the people involved and their parents to let them know that this is a fun league.
Yeah.
This is something that we're doing to build each other up and have fun.
Yeah, and on the contract it says this league is all about fun. We're competitive, but the main goal is to have fun.
Okay.
I think the more we can get parents to understand that it's not like there are no mandatory practices, no mandatory workouts or anything. It's just straight fun. And I think that's what we need to get the parents to understand.
Yeah, it's just having a structure to do this around.
Right.
Okay. All right, and a similar question, and both of you can chime in on this. How can the PWL grow its fan base?
So one of the biggest things that people don't like about, I guess you could say, home-created content is not to insult, but the lack of quality in camera angles.
Absolutely.
So the biggest thing we're going to try and do is get the camera angles to be more advanced and focused.
Well, you basically answered my next question without me asking it. Thank you very much. So how will technology improve the game experience this season?
Yeah, we got to get more cameras.
We're definitely getting more cameras.
We're going to keep the one behind home plate. We're going to keep that camera one. That's still going to be our main camera. That's not going to change. However, I think it needs to be higher up.
So,
Yeah, it's higher up and centered perfectly. We're going to have one in straightaway center, maybe left center-ish, like they have in the major leagues where it zooms in on the pitcher and the hitter.
Okay.
I think that's another big camera angle. And then one on first and third to help replay reviews and just improve the viewing experience for fans.
and I want one to be focused just solely on the strike zone. Like,
I think we need to have a GoPro coming off the bottom of the shirt. Yeah.
And another thing is I want to introduce mic'd up and
Yes.
GoPros on the player. So like if you're home team, you get to put a camera on. So you get, yeah, you get player perspective.
Yeah.
Would that be optional for the team to
Yes.
do?
Yeah.
Okay. Just curious. All right. Well, those sound exciting. I guess the biggest concern there is going to be finances to pay for the technology.
We're working on it. We're trying our best.
merch store.
Yeah, we're trying our best to sell merch. Do everything we can to get our funds up. And guys, if you pay for merch, that money is going towards the league. It's gonna help us help you. So we're doing everything we can to make that happen.
All right. All right. Let's talk about some game situation for a minute here. Will the league ever adopt a standard distance and design for all infields? And I say that because obviously here at Critters,
Here it's about the same.
well, here at Critters, you've got kind of an oblong because of the narrow playing area, and other places it's more of the traditional baseball concept of like 60, 60, 60. Is there any thought to standardizing and making it the same everywhere?
Since we have fields like here and up Wells Park up there, the distance from the pitcher to first and pitcher to third, that can vary. However, the distance from the pitcher to home to first, first to second, second to third, third to home, we need to have an exact measurement for that. So I think the narrowness of the field can vary, but the distance between bases can change.
I agree. I think that one of the we were talking about this earlier, the different shapes of the field. I think that that'll work.
Okay, so basically y'all are good with a field such as Critters and Wells having their uniqueness because they're not a perfect square for the infield.
I think it adds some playing experience.
Okay, all right.
But like in the major leagues, you do have a set distance between the pitcher and home, which we haven't been doing that. We need to measure it starting this season.
I'm all for that.
Yeah.
All right, another in-game question. Is the league going to use regulation wiffle balls and bats this season? And there's a follow-up depending on your answer.
We are going to use the whip, but I think that is going to be optional.
Well, here's the thing. If we use wiffle balls, we're not going to have any home runs this season. I don't know what. I love what we did in the World Series this year. It's not up to me. It's kind of where the batter has to guess what the ball is. That's what we did in the World Series. I think that relates to baseball.
Okay, so if it's not going to be a standardized only wiffle product, just as you said in the World Series last year, the pitcher could choose from the red ball, the blitz ball, a standard wiffle ball, or the white practice ball.
Yeah, red and blitz have to go.
Okay, so
if there are different types to choose from, the type that they choose will be the one they have to use throughout the entire game.
okay, so you can't. What you're saying is you cannot change per pitch, whatever they start.
Okay,
with.
well hang on. We're getting rid of red and blitz. We're still going to keep wiffle in practice. We're getting rid of red ball and blitz ball altogether.
Okay,
So,
red and blitz will not be used.
Red and blitz will not be used. But are you saying that we have to choose one specific ball?
Yes. That is okay. You referenced baseball, talking about base systems and all that. Would it make sense if there was a pitcher throwing a baseball and all of a sudden his coach walks out with a T-ball and hands it to him and they start using that? It just doesn't make sense. It changes the entire environment. It just changes too much for the batter. It shouldn't have.
So while the pitcher then would have the option, say I have the option, I can throw either the wiffle ball or I can throw the practice ball. If I choose to throw the wiffle ball only, then in effect we've become the wiffle ball, strictly wiffle ball league, strictly
If
wiffle.
you choose who, like, but it's per game. It's not
Per
your
game.
entire
Right, per game.
I think the home team should have to choose.
And both sides do the same thing?
Yep.
We're still.
Okay, so this rule, this is still a,
Yeah.
I don't like the word evolving, but this is still a growing issue.
Still process.
Okay, all right.
However,
To be determined.
I think what's going to wind up happening is like our commissioner-elect here said, home team will choose the ball before the game. That's part of the home field advantage. The home team can choose the ball, but it cannot change throughout the game.
That sounds like that might be a
Now, here's another
good
question for you.
compromise.
Extra innings. Can we repick the ball in extra innings? No.
I wouldn't.
It's still part of the game.
Okay.
Okay.
Now,
I think we made some headway here.
for the guys for people wondering, here's a rule I want to keep that you agreed on in 2020 at the end of 2020. We still never used it because we've never had extra innings, but in extra innings, it starts with a runner on second and 1 out.
I really don't have an opinion on that because it hasn't affected me.
Yeah.
And I think if the game has made no advancement up to that point, then I think that would have changed.
So you're
Can't go.
Okay. Well, again, we've made progress. Very good. Let's talk about destination games. We've had a Destin series, a Costa Rica series, an Oklahoma series. Is there going to be a destination series for 2022?
Absolutely. We are very, we are beyond ecstatic about this. Although it'll probably be 102 degrees for this game. We are trying our best to prepare ourselves. Guys, we are introducing Wiffle in the West this year. We're going to Las Vegas, Nevada. It'll be the Legionary and the Shoreline battling it out in the West. And we're very excited about that.
Oh wow, does the Shoreline know this yet?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
We are very excited about that. We're making the post about it soon. So if you've watched up to this point, you know something other people don't. That's what y'all get. That's part of the bonus content right there.
All right. You heard it here first, folks.
And also, if we go to Afton, we're absolutely playing there again. If we go to Afton,
If we go.
Yeah,
That's
if
still
we go.
to be determined.
Yeah, still to be determined. But the for sure destination game this year is Las Vegas.
All right. Are there any new home fields for any of the returning teams?
So-
Is everyone playing the same place, or?
So as of right now, we're discussing that in between signing executive orders tomorrow. However, my field's not changing. Here's how the fields are as of right now. If we want to change something tomorrow, we will. Knights remain at Freddie H. Bales. Huskies remain at Epic. Tigers remain at New Wakefield. Critters remain at Grooms. Shoreline remain at Wells. And Legionary remain at Titan. So as of right now, without us discussing it, I think that's how it's going to stay. But it's not up to me.
And basically, the city locations for those fields are Fayetteville, Georgia, and Enterprise, Alabama. Okay. All right. And I think, let's see. I think that may cover everything that I had prepared. Are there any other thoughts that you guys want to add?
I'll say this about your last question. With the amount of players that may be joining from Dothan, Alabama, some of the fields may be location there to keep accessibility, player availability as a high priority.
That makes sense.
My field will remain at Titan Park.
My field's going to remain at Wells. Tigers is to be decided.
All right.
Huskies may change. We're not sure. Huskies and Tigers are to be decided, but I'm for sure staying. He's for sure staying. And and none of the Georgia League teams are an issue. It's just our two teams. It's the Tigers and Huskies.
Okay.
Because they're the ones really interested in players right now from Dothan.
All right. Well, if there's no other thoughts from you guys that you want to share, I guess this will wrap up our session. Thanks for watching, listening, and we look forward to a fun PWL season in 2022.
Thank you for having us.
Sure thing.
Pleasure.
It was real fun.
Glad you made it.
All right. Here we go.